It's a live on YouTube. Live on Facebook. Oh, I'll share it. Come live.
How much followers on TikTok?
This is what you done, this one.
I don't know how I could go live on TikTok.
Come.
Alright. So we are the I.S.U.P.K and the Commandant General YAHANNA. Right? I'm Prison Officer Galawan right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? Just want to let all know, don't forget the Passover, April 24th is coming up. You know, that's the Lord's 52nd annual Passover. Right? So you should come down, try your best to make it. You know, some places the borders closed, so people can't make it, but you know, still prepare. Should in case something happens, you know, boom, you all could make it across everybody. Alright, so after you pass over, you all know 7 days on the bread, it carry nothing at the raise or nothing at the rise. Alright, so since 1969 I've been teaching this, and again since 1969 I've been telling all of that Christian churches are lies. All the teachers lies, and everybody who is not in the I.S.U.P.K under Commandant General YAHANNA is a Christian. Alright? So let me get the scriptures. Tonight we're going to talk about rank and brotherhood. Alright? We're going to talk about a post I saw on Facebook. There's always some sort of homosexual thing you see on Facebook now. Always some sort of people who see in the street, they're promoting these things. And the number one people who promote these gay agenda, they're straight people, but they're promoting it. And the number one people who are promoting is women. Alright? So we're going to get into that tonight. Supporting the gay agenda is not brotherhood. That is unbrotherhood. Right. Supporting the gay agenda. Alright? Not because you're black and black people who gay means you're going to support them with whoever they're doing. No. It means supporting the gay agenda. That's right. Right? That's the agenda. What you're doing is wrong. And before the law comes to you, the law is the punishment from the Most High. Before the law comes to you, you should change your life. Right? So we're going to go into that a little bit, you know, talking about how the Lord killed all the women in Benjamin. Right? All the women who's Benjamites, the Lord killed them all. Because why? Not all of them was lesbians, but the majority of them was supporting the gay agenda. And the majority of them was the women. So the Lord killed all the Benjamite women and them. I mean, that is a little true, you know, in today's society, people say, no, you can't do that to the woman, that is so harsh. Why are you saying that for? Why are you doing that for? But the Lord don't care about that. The Lord is not respect of person. if you do something that the Lord don't like, punishment is going to come at you. Alright, so give me Revelation 1 and 18 first.
Book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 18. I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore, amen, and have the keys of hell and of death.
Right, and have the keys of hell and of death. Anybody know what you're talking about there?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
This is walking in which I.S.U.P.K, and just as we bring it out, you don't support, anything that will bring unrighteousness in English, just as they bring it out. So that easy is again to give life, right? And you can also take it from the time you step out of righteousness, right?
Right, so I know he could also give it and also take it away from the time here. That and also to have, okay, well this not literal, but this is the book of Revelation. So the keys of hell and of death. Are the keys, right? The keys of hell and of death. It's not literal keys, right? It just means he's in, what to say, he's in charge of it. So he can put you in it, right? Hell and of death. So think of it as a prison, like a prison officer that has the keys to open the prison cell and close it back. Right? He has the power to put you in a terrible condition. Right? That's what I'm trying to say. You have the power to put you in a terrible condition. Like prison is not prison is a bad condition. You know? Although you have cell phone and stuff like that, people, nobody don't want to be in prison. Prison is a bad condition. Right? And that's what he's saying. He has the keys of hell and of death. He's going to put in a, he could put in a bad condition on it. He had that power to put in a terrible condition on it. Right? Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 19. Write the things which thou hast seen, and these things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter.
All right.
Verse 20. The mysteries of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and even and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches.
All right, so Christ just revealed, the 7 stars on his right hand and the 7 candlesticks. The 7 stars is the angels, and the angels how to say today, the angels are soldiers, right? Just like how we in the I.S.U.P.K are soldiers, right? There are soldiers that is celestial, right? And also there are soldiers here, right here on the earth. So those angels are celestial, they are soldiers, just like how we are again here in the UK soldiers. Alright? So the stars that dwell with the Lord and the 7 churches are the schools that Paul established in Asia. Right? Again, we all know our church is just a congregation, right, of Israelites. Right? So again, those stars, the angels, angels is soldiers. They are soldiers to the Lord. And when Christ come crack through the skies and with 200 million angels that are going to fight war with World War III when it comes. Right? Those are the celestial angels. Right? Who will be the soldiers? We're going to be the soldiers down here waiting for Christ to return. When he returns, we're going to join Christ in the war. Right? Take back this earth. Take back the Middle East, because the Middle East is our own. Right? Christ is going to be getting all the orders. All the orders going to be come down. Right? Because that's how the rank is. Without that rank, the thing going nothing. You understand? You need rank to have order. Right? And everything does work fine like an oil machine. Right? So you need that rank, you need that discipline, the orders come down, you listen to the orders, and you obey the command. Right? That's just how it's going to be. Going on Revelation 2 and 1. Yeah. Revelation 2 and 1.
Book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 1. And unto the angel of the church of Ephesus write these things, saith he that holdeth the 7 stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks.
Right. So Christ have wrote to the angel of Ephesus. Right? So this angel walks in the midst of the school, right? This angel, right, in Revelation 2 and 1. So, okay. All right. It's not every angel that is in charge of a school. Right? And those angels as report to Christ, right? The precept for that is in Hebrews chapter 1. Right? That's just basically how it is. So every angel is in charge of the school, so how it is, the angel could just be like, all right, so in your school, you always have somebody who's in charge. Right? So like say you have a captain at the school, you might have the general over the school, or however the general want to do it. General might put a captain over the school, however the general want to do it. But the angel does watch what's going on in the school. Makes a report right on, all right. Now that one he lying. Now the angel will be seeing because the angel seeing everything. Now this brother he lying. Alright, that brother always in adultery, alright. Then the angel take it up, makes his report. Alright, this one with that school thing. And then whoever the Lord might have it now, the Lord might just shake up the school. Everything that's how a way does reveal itself. Once things end up getting revealed now, the generals and them now, they go handle everything to suit. Alright, so the angels always take a report, send it back up to Christ will report to the Most High. Alright? That is basically how it is. So this angel was walking in the midst of the school. Right? I believe there's a scripture in the Bible that says when you want to ease yourself in the bathroom to go outside, dig a hole and put it there. Because they don't want the angel who's walking up and down in the camp to see that. Right? Because there's angels walking to and fro in the school. Just like how we just be with Shema. Right? Always walking up and down, might go downstairs, check the cars when you camp, you're walking up and down at how the general thought of. Right? Read about that verse 2 and 4.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 1. Unto the angel of the church of Ephesus write, these things saith he that hold the 7 candlesticks, the 7 stars in his right, who walketh in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks.
All right, so he walking in the midst of the school. All right, so yeah, go ahead.
Verse 2. I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou cannot bear them which are evil. Thou hast tried them, which say they are apostles, and are not, and hast found them liars.
All right, so don't say they have found them liars, right? There is not who say they are apostles. They are not apostles, they are liars. Those liars are who? Who could be those liars today? Today could be who could be those liars? Go ahead.
For me, PGX and Capital and I.Y.C.L, GCCL, GMS.
Right, yeah, those could be the liars today, you know. Charles Gordon, you know, the Christians are liars. And we found that Christians are liars. And again, everybody who's outside of the UPK, they are all Christian. Right? Hinduism, Rastafarianism, Islam, you know, you all are liars. And you all are Christian. Right? Because you all see the same thing Christians are saying. Right? Continue.
Verse 3. And has borne, and has patience, and for my name's sake has labored, and has not fainted. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love.
Because thou hast left thy first love. And has born is like carried and labored for Christ, and not fallen. Fallen is like weak or fainted. Right? He hasn't been weak for his name's sake or fainted. Right? That's what we're talking about. Right? For nevertheless, thou hast left thy first love. Right? Even though you did all of these good things, you still have a flaw. Right? That's what he's saying here. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. So you say, nevertheless, even though you did all of these good things, you still have a flaw. Right? Verse 5 now here, go ahead, verse 5.
Verse 5, book of Revelation chapter 2 and verse 5. Remember therefore, from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first work, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and I will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent.
Right, so there are 7 schools. Each one is going to get a compliment and how to say it? A reprimand. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Right? So everyone of them is going to get a compliment, and everybody is going to get discipline. Like you said, like that. Everybody's going to get discipline. Right? And the angel is getting the angel is getting discipline. Not the camp leader, not the master or bishop, not the deacon or servant. The angel is going to get the chastisement. Right? Because he reports to Christ. So again, so let me say camp, you have camp going on. You know, the leader of the camp to make a report with some issue. You know, it's not the men in the camp going to get disciplined or chastised, going to be the camp leader. Vice versa, if the captain makes a report of captain going to get the chastised, you know, the camp leader, vice versa, you know, whoever the captain reports, you know, he might report that general, the general take it to the commanding general, you know, that general going to get the chastising. But in this situation here, the angel seeing what going on in the school, the angel going to make that report. You can make a report to Christ, you know, Christ will be chastising the angel. You understand? That's just how the rank the does go. Right? So the angel is going to get the chastising from Christ. Right? So angels answer to Christ. Okay, so right. So as I said before, every angel's answer to Christ. Who answers to the angels? You see? If angels answer to Christ, who does answer to him? To the angels. Anybody? Who I know?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So again, Barrett?
Yeah. With the answer in the angels.
The camp leader. Okay, right, yeah. The leader of the school. The leader of the school. Right? The leader of the school will answer to the angel. Right? But always think of it still again as the angel just watching the whole school what going on and making the report. Alright? Don't think of it as literally, you know, the person in charge of the school answering to the angel. I just think of it, the angel just making a report of everything what going on in the school and making this report of Christ. Alright? Think about it like that.
Like I said,
Go ahead.
I just feel coming out to this right? I just wanted to know, and I hear reading, nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love down. The first love is doing the work at the Mosai here or something. Which Revelation chapter 2 and verse 4.
2. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against you because thou hast left thy first self. Yeah, I'll come back to that, but yeah, that is it's basically a brotherhood scripture. Right? It's basically a brotherhood scripture. But I'll come back to it. Right? So that's basically about it, right? Just think of the angel just making a report at the whole school and sending the report to Christ. Not literally, you know, the leader of the school talking to the angel back and forth. Right? Not literally that. So the angel gets checked for what we do, and also the angel gets complimented for what we do. Right? So so this school here, so this school was doing everything great, right? This school here, right? That we are. It's become under Revelation 2 and 1. Ephesus. Right? This school was doing everything great, working day and night. No one was taught that they would have problems. Right? But the one problem they had, apart from working hard, was leaving their first love. Right? The one problem that they had again from working hard, you know, going to camp every day, going and debate somebody every day, you know, always doing the work of the Lord, you know, doing the Father's business. Right? Apart from doing all of that, from working hard, the one problem they had was leaving their first love. Right? So again, apart from working hard, was leaving their first love. All right, the first love was, anybody want to know where is that? Where is that? The first love. I believe I said before. Yeah, I'm Barrett.
Brotherhood.
Alright, brotherhood. Alright, so everybody working hard day and night, reading scriptures, teaching class, going Barbados for months, building up school, going in camp, excellent. Right? They was working hard, but leaving their first love is brotherhood. The precept that I'm not going to that precept, but precept that is Matthew 22. You're going to give me Matthew 22 and 35. Somebody else hold Mark chapter 12. Mark chapter 12 from verse 28. Matthew 22 and 35.
Book of Matthew 22 and verse 35. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law?
Right.
Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This
Right.
is the first great commandment.
Right.
And the second
Right.
is,
So yes, that is it. So thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Right? Again, the scribes and Pharisees always want to cut Christ. Right? They always want to cut him to try to make him look like if he know what he's saying now. Right? So Christ said them no, hey, thou shalt love the Lord with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. That is the first and the great commandment. I mean, once you love the Lord with everything, you will have brotherhood. As the scriptures say, how could you love the Lord and hate your brother? Right? That is one of the laws. Right? One of the spirit that Christ was teaching us. Who are the next one in Mark 12 and 28?
Book of Mark, chapter 12 and verse 28. And one of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning together, and perceived that he answered them well, asked him, which is the first commandment of all.
Right.
Verse 29. And Yahushua answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Most High of power is one master, other one, Salakia. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment.
Right. So again, once you can love the Lord with everything, right? Your heart, your soul, your mind, everything. You go have brotherhood. Right? You can have no other way to because the scriptures teach you brotherhood. Right? The scriptures does teach you brotherhood. Right? And if you could love the Lord with everything, you're going to have brotherhood in you. Right? Again, the scribes and Pharisees, they didn't have brotherhood in them. Right? If they had brotherhood in them, they'd have never plot to kill Christ. Right? They'd have never go into the multitude and say, Lord, free Barnabas. Say all I want to free Barnabas. They will kill Christ. Right? That is not brotherhood. Right? If in the truth on the street corner, preaching all day etc. You know. But if you hate your brother, as I just mentioned, if you hate your brother, what difference does it make? Right? Whole day, whole night you're preaching on the corner, you're tired, and then you hate your brother. Right? What difference does it really make? Right? It really makes no difference. Right? You're a liar. You have no brotherhood in you. Right? It's just unbrotherly. You know, you're excellent at all your scriptures, but you hate your brother. Right? That it makes no difference. Right? Because then yeah, that's all good.
So like I said, for me, it's the same display you see I.S.U.P.K yesterday, sir. But they went up on the camp, the brothers and them, you know, setting up. And they know they was there before. Although they didn't teach us nothing like that. But they lie, you know, it's because they didn't know they was on camera. You know, they say something and they get catch later on. Because they went up on them, you know, and try to bully the brothers and them off the corner. And you see the same thing with them, and later on you see, well, they may just hatred in there for the brothers.
Yeah, well, again, anybody who not UPK have hatred for their brothers.
Okay.
Right? There is Christians, so Christians have no hatred, no love for their brothers.
Right.
Right? Pastor doing all kind of evilness, being a sodomite. Them next one, IUIC, you see that transvestite or something, so then kill him. Right? Right. So yeah. So it don't make no difference. You know, you're preaching hard whole day and then you end up you hate your brother. You know, because if you're preaching hard whole day and then you hate your brother, you won't be no different from the person you trying to cheat. So what sense to make you preaching on the street corner, preaching brotherhood, and you hate your brother? Alright? You ain't gonna be no different from the same person that you trying to change. Right? And if you also too, if you hate your brother, who's going at the camp with you every day, saying, you know, the white man is the devil, homosexuality is wrong. Right? If you hate a sister that makes bread for the school, then what difference does it make that you know how evil they are when you yourself, right, is evil? Right? So you hate a sister who making bread, she working hard, she's knitting, she's batting her hair. You hate your sister, you hate your brother who at camp with you every day. Yeah, it makes a difference. You know? You trying to say them evil when you yourself evil. Right? So your first love, how to say it, is correcting yourself and loving your brothers and sisters in school. That is your first love. Right? So you can work as hard as you want day in, day out. But it will all be for nothing without brotherhood. Right? Correcting yourself. You always have to watch yourself and correct yourself first. Right? Brotherhood. Why have you left your first love? We're talking about brotherhood. Right? Anybody have to what on that? Alright, so do we get into Judges? Judges chapter 20 verse 4. Right? So again now, brotherhood, sisterhood is everything. When you say brotherhood, we mean sisterhood. Right? Sisters, you understand a lot of sisters now and stop using your hands to fight your sister, or envying your sister, vice versa, brotherhood. Love your brothers, right? Not try to always belittle your brother. or bad talk them behind your back. Right? That is not brotherhood. Right? Also to with rank, because we come talk on brotherhood and rank, right? Rank, it sets everything in order. And also to rank is brotherhood. Right? You can't have an army without rank. Right? We go start our judges, because again I was saying before, somebody I saw on Facebook was talking about protesting. They were saying like black people should be supporting the gay agenda, because the people in the gay agenda is black people. So no matter what black people do, you should just support. Right? But that is unbrotherly to support somebody who's doing something against the Most High. Right? That is unbrotherly. Right? If you're defending the gay agenda, you're not operating in brotherhood. The Lord killed gay people, and also the ones that was defending gay people. Right? And sisters, again, as I was saying, is the biggest supporters of the gay agenda. Right? So we just touch briefly on this judges. Who are the scripture? The Judges 20 and 3. Yeah, Judges 20 and 3.
Book of Judges, chapter 20 and verse 3. Now the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel were gone up to Mizpah. Then said the children of Israel, tell us, how was this wickedness?
Right, so how was this wickedness? Because there was on the Sodom and Gomorrah type stuff. Right, how was this wickedness? There was the Sodom and Gomorrah type stuff. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 4. And the Levite, the husband of the woman that was slain, answered and said, I came to Gibeah, that belongeth to Benjamin, I and my concubine to lodge. And the men of Gibeah rose against me, and beset the house round about upon me by night, and thought to have slain me, and my concubine have they forced that she is dead.
Right, so okay, until they raped her, that was what I was talking about, right? Now we say, and my concubine have the force in rape that she is dead. Alright? Go ahead.
Verse 6. And I took my concubine and cut her in pieces, and sent her throughout all the country of the inheritance of Israel, for they have committed lewdness and folly in Israel.
Right. So why he cut off in pieces and send it all out through Israel? Why that happened? Go ahead.
Yes, so you do it to show them, all of you are part and parcel, so sending a piece that I reminded it. All of you all, guilty in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that's about it. Mm-hmm. All right, so okay, so what we're on here, so he cut off the body parts and sent a body parts to every tribe in Israel. So he was saying, all right, if nobody come forward and handle this situation, nobody come forward and say, all right, this is what all these men here did this, or anybody come forward and say, all of this, all of rape this woman or whatever. How I cut off this woman body part here, all other women, we're gonna cut them off. Right? So it was just like what to say, a threat You know, all come and all own what all do, whoever it was, or else come for all of them. Right? And cut them.
So I'm gonna keep that place for forward.
Keep that place for forward. You could say that. Right? You could say that, but remember this was a folly that they did. Right? This was something that was against the law that they did. Right? They raped the women, and plus on top of that there was all kind of homosexuality stuff going on. Right? So how he raped his women, he cut it up and said, all right, if all in come forward and say who did this, or the person in come up and say who did this, we coming for all other women. And we will kill them all. Right? I believe that, I forget the scripture, it was somebody had cut up an ox. It was to say, all right, you know, to start a one, send it into the Israelite tribe. I forget the scripture what it was. It was to say, all right, they fall in, own this, I will kill all of the ox. He cut up the ox. And send it. Right? I forget the scripture. Right? Of what I was. Right? So you see all other women going up like this, if nobody can come forward and handle this situation. Right? I believe it was King Saul. King Saul, he had that with the ox. I believe it was it. Right? So again, that was how all the women in Benjamin had get slaves, because Benjamin had did the crime. So that's how all the women in Benjamin died out, because it was Benjamin who did the crime. Right? Skipping down to this 10. Imam verse 10.
The book of Judges, chapter 20 and verse 10. And we will take 10 men of 100 throughout all the tribes of Israel, and 100 of 1,000, and 1,000 of 10,000, to fetch victuals for the people, that they may do when they come to Gibeah of Benjamin, according to all the folly that they have wrought in Israel.
Right, so the folly that Benjamin, right, the folly that Benjamin had brought in Israel, they were going to start out, and all of them was black people. Right, all of them was black people. So again, because of the folly that they was doing, they was going to start a war with them. So when people saying we should support the gay agenda, and that's nothing if they're gay. Once they're black, just support them. No, not in Israel, not nobody righteous men at the Lord. Once they're in folly, they ain't supporting that. They ain't supporting that agenda at all. They went to war with Benjamin because Benjamin was in folly. Right? Yes, it had some people that were supporting them, but they and all had died out. The ones who were supporting them. Right? And who knows that they maybe were straight people who were supporting them. They maybe wasn't gay, but because they were supporting them, they are now died out. So they was preparing for war for the folly that Benjamin had done to them. Right? Give me verse 16.
Verse 16. Among all this people, there were 700 chosen men, left-handed. Everyone could sling stones at an hair breadth and not miss.
Right? So these mighty men, these strong men, right? What to say? They was like snipers. Right? These men were like snipers with their slinging stones. Right? Now, this is the time of Benjamin was most popular. The tribe of Benjamin was most popular at this time. Right? The tribe of Benjamin was big. Right? They were so big. Benjamin was so big they could have gone to war with the other 11 tribes. That's how big Benjamin was. Right? They could have gone to war with the other 11 tribes. But again, who pumped up Benjamin? Who gave Benjamin that, that idea to be gay or let me support the other Benjamin to gay? Who gave Benjamin that idea? Anybody know who gave Benjamin that idea?
Okay, Paul?
Who?
Paul?
The women of Israel, the women of Benjamin, right? Gave the Benjamite men that idea. That is why the Lord didn't kill out all the men. The Lord killed out all the women of Benjamin. Right? Because the women and them, apart from them, and was in the folly. Some of them was supporting them. Some of them maybe wasn't in the folly, but they were supporting them. Right? Now, if you look at today's statistics, women is the #1 supporters of the gay agenda. Sisters the #1 supporters of it. Right? The Lord killed out all the women of Benjamin. Right?
Okay,
Go ahead.
I just want to say, it's like, I just want to see like a brain, because like, it's like, so, that whole thing with Benjamin, like, it's like, they know, they do something wrong, right? But because it is Benjamin, it's not like, it's supporting, Benjamin and wickedness, and, like, hey, we don't care, we going down, dying with the friend, but we going on fight against you. So, like, they know wickedness, but they do nothing, like, wickedness, your brother, and things like that tribe, not like the rest not stay there, hey, the rest of somebody Benjamin stay there, they know they try something, that person wrong, so we really go and give the person starting, and so why they come together, and like in wickedness, to support the whole thing.
Yeah, they come together in wickedness. Yeah. Now they come together in wickedness. Right? So again this supporting it is not brotherhood. That is some kind of perverted type of brotherhood that the Lord don't like. Right? The Lord wants a righteous brotherhood. Right? And in a righteous brotherhood, as we read lower down here, the Lord told Israel, go to war with Benjamin. All of them black. The Lord told Israel, go to war with Benjamin. You understand? Because of this folly that he's doing. And right now, Benjamin was the most popular out of all the tribes. They could have go to all the other 11 tribes. Alright? Let's go go with Benjamin. But what was your now? 17? Yeah, go ahead.
Book of Judges, chapter 20 and verse 17. And the men of Israel, beside Benjamin, were numbered 400,000 men that drew swords. All these were men of war.
Right, so 400,000 men was prepared to go to war with Benjamin. 400,000, right? Was prepared to go to war with Benjamin, right? Go ahead.
Verse 18. And the children of Israel arose and went up to the house of the Most High and asked counsel of the Most High and said, which of us shall go up first to the battle against the children of Benjamin? And the Most High said, Judah shall go up first.
The Lord said, Judah shall go up first. So Judah shall go first. Right here, the Lord was putting. He was setting up Judah. Right, the Lord here, he was setting up Judah because remember, the Lord, he does plan thousands of years down the future. So the Lord saying, all right, I go let Judah go first. You understand? So he's setting up Judah here right now. So he to be the head tribe. You understand? So the Lord thinking straight down ahead. That's why he say let Judah go first. You understand? So that's why you get King David, King Solomon. You get prominent people from this lineage, Judah. Right? But the Lord was setting him up. That's why the Lord said let Judah go first. Right? Yeah, go ahead.
Also, because they know well, two things I'm thinking about this. If I'm right, no follow Canada bread, right? Without Judah is a real, you know, GEN.YAHANNA. You go in, you are the last, so you know, you don't sit there, you go in. There's one and then the legislative certainly in the Maccabees that we're talking about, then nothing to the Lord to take a small number and keep it so that to deflate them, the pride in Benjamin at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that too, but mainly the Lord was setting up Judah for him to be the head child. That's why he wanted him to go first. That's a plan that the Lord had put out down ahead. Right? You can remember the tribe of Benjamin was big, they could take on all the 11 tribes. Alright? So it's just
So I guess that's how I get on, right? So that's like when the most I and like with Levi, right? When I choose Levi because let's say like so what that spirit that feels when the most I, so that's why Levi was like was given the Lord and the right to go the Lord, right? So like when we check back to that also like more or less like that always had that fighting, that always had that fighting spirit too.
Judah had the fighting spirit in him, yeah. Right? But as we read along, you'll see Benjamin was beating them. Benjamin was beating them. Right? But this many here, the Lord, he was just setting up Judah to he to be that head tribe. Just a plan that the Lord had. That way he said let Judah go first. Right? You can let any other tribe go first. So let Judah go first. Right? Any other tribe you can let go. Alright, continue. We go down to 19.
Fine. Verse 19. And the children of Israel rose up in the morning and encamped against Gibeah. And the men of Israel went out to battle against Benjamin. And the men of Israel put themselves in array to fight against them at Gibeah.
Right, so Adam when Israel went to fight Benjamin, right, everybody was prepared. Go ahead.
And the children of Benjamin came forth out of Gibeah and destroyed down the ground of the Israelites that day 22,000 men.
Right, so Benjamin was winning the fight, he was winning the war so far. 22,000 men Benjamin killed. Right? Now, what to say? Remember, the Benjamites and them did not want to deliver of the Sodomites. Right? When the man cut up his white body parts and sent it through, brothers and
No.
okay. Yeah, and cut off their body parts and send it through. So the Benjamites didn't want to deliver the Sodomites that did that deed. Right? So that's why it had this war. Right? So Israel went to war with them. So of the Benjamites, who was not gay, but they was defending the gay Benjamites. Right? That is why they went to war with them. Right? Again, that is not brotherhood. Right? As you could see here, the Benjamites was gay, and they went to war with their own black people for being gay. Right? They didn't support it. Even the ones who were supported, they went against them and to war with them. Right? Yeah, go ahead, verse 20. 22.
Verse 22. And the people, the men of Israel, encouraged themselves and set their battle again in array in the place where they put themselves in array the first day. Israel went up and wept before the Most High until evening, and asked counsel of the Most High, saying, Shall I go up against the battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother? And the Most High said, Go up against him.
Right, so you're crying, that is your brother. Yeah, he did something wrong. He did folly, but go to war against him. The Lord say yes, go to war against him. Go to war against Benjamin. Continue.
And the children of Israel came near against the children of Benjamin the second day. And Benjamin went forth against them out of Gibeah the second day, and destroyed down to the ground of the children of Israel again 18,000 men. All these drew the sword.
Right, so again, okay, what's going on? There was crying. Israel was crying. Benjamin is their brother. So they're asking Most High, hey, we have to go to war against your brother. Most High said yes. Right? So they went to war, and then again, Benjamin killed 18,000 of them. Right? 18,000 of them. So you can't give the one twice. Because that's the sodomite spirit is a very aggressive spirit. Right? If you look at history, right, and reading up this year, we talk about war. How we know the sodomite spirit is an aggressive spirit. Right? Looking at history and reading up these wars here. Yeah. Good word.
The Romans on them.
Right. The Romans, that's true. The Romans, the Greeks. Who again? Romans, the Greeks.
So I kept it back time.
Country people who fight wars. So Romans, Greeks, who fight in wars. Now all those places was gay people. The military was gay. Egypt, yeah, them Egyptians and them too was gay. Egypt. Yeah, Barrett, right? America. Right now, America is the number one people with the military. Nobody can come up against America military. That's why America does use the military to mobilize people and mobilize country because of the military might. So gay people is very aggressive. And history has shown that, America, I just said, America is the number one right now. America promoting homosexuality, right? It's in cartoons and all. That's the shit. America promoting. So that's why the military is number one, because sodomite people have a very aggressive way about them. That's why the Benjamites was winning. They had this aggressive way about them. And those people who was mobilized, people in school, and them is sodomites. Those want to mobilize a small little child, them is sodomites. And those you could talk about prison. All them sodomites, those people want to do those nastiness. We're dropping sober and holding you. They're sodomites and they're aggressive. Right? Right, that's how it is. History has shown that. Right? Verse 21. Judges chapter 21, From verse 16.
The book of Judges, chapter 21 and verse 16. Then the elders of the congregation said, how shall we do for wives for them that remain, seeing that the women are destroyed out of Benjamin?
Right. Seeing that the women are destroyed out of Benjamin. So what he's saying here, basically he's saying here, hey, all the women are destroyed, meaning dead. All the women are destroyed, meaning dead from Benjamin. Why did the Lord kill all of the Benjamite women? Because, and only a majority of the men, because all the women and them was the promoters of homosexuality. Right? The Lord could have just killed the majority of the women in Benjamin and the majority of the men in Benjamin. But no, the Lord didn't do it. He killed out all the women in Benjamin and only a majority of the men in Benjamin. It is because the woman is the biggest promoters of homosexuality. No, some of them might not be gay, the women, but the majority of them that support it. They support it, even though they're not gay. But the Lord, He didn't want that. Whether you're gay or you're supporting it, punishment. So the Lord killed out all the women and them Benjamin for that. Go ahead, John.
Even in plain sight, you know, like when I girl changing she clothes and thing, and they see a straight man in front, she and thing, she go down look to go real fast about that. But if he gay, if he man gay and thing, she will change she clothes right in front of him, right in front of his face.
Yeah.
They see how really and today they really like they hang around gay men for all the secrets and things to against to the world, one tell them and
right. Yeah, so you know, it's actually run from the gay man too. The gay man is supposed to be running from. Because gay men is rapists. The straight man ain't gonna rape you. It's the gay man who gonna rape you. So you're supposed to be running from the gay man, not the straight man. But because they support us, you know, this is why I see all these marches and them destroying, falling apart. Right? And this is why the men have to put out order now and talk to the woman. Because if the men ain't talking to the woman now, somebody else talking to them. Right? One famous person who has talked to our woman is the so-called white man. You turn on them TV shows, white man talking to them. You know, we are always with P's and Q's and talk to them. Right? Because if we don't, somebody else will. Right? And then that is just how everything will just fall apart. Right? Remember Deuteronomy 20 and 9. Right? So yeah, 20 and 9. Right? So supporting the gay agenda, whether it's black people, that is on Brotherhood. Right? This was Brotherhood that we just read in Judges. And that was Brotherhood. The Lord said, go to war, Benjamin. They unfolly. That is Brotherhood. You understand? But again, you know, it's the Lord making the call. Alright? Yeah, who have it? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 20 and verse 9. And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of speaking unto the people, that they shall make captains of the armies to lead the people.
Right? They shall be captains of the armies to lead the people. Right? As I was saying, yes, rank is part of the Brotherhood. Right? Without Brotherhood, without rank, everything going to just fall apart. The thing going to have no order. You know, you might end up like them other fake camps and them. You know, it's going to be horrible, right? Without rank and order, right? You can't operate fully in brotherhood if you don't have rank and order. You can't operate fully in brotherhood if you don't have rank and order, right? It's just impossible. A lot of people don't want to have rank and order, right? That's why the place is so in a mess right now. Understand? That's why outside the UPK, everything is just in a mess. A lot of people don't want to have rank and order. They will be like, yeah, you know, I support our brothers, you know, everything. All that's saying is true, you know, but man, I can't go on this whole thing, you know. I feel like I could do this if I want to. I feel like I could do that if I want to. I don't have to report. You know, if I ain't feeling to get up and report, I ain't gonna do it. You know what? How everything falling apart for them so. Right? It is impossible for everything to run smoothly and it do not have rank and order. Right? Because rank and order is brotherhood. Right? Most of the time black people don't want to listen to other black people. That's why they just go on so. Right? Most of the time, the black person who don't want to listen to another black man really and truly just wants to listen to the white man. Right? That person just want to listen to the white man. And you want to listen to Master and he want to listen to you, brother. Right? You know, again, you know, when the orders come down from people above you, everything does run smooth and fine like an oil machine. Right? That's how it is. Give me 16, Deuteronomy 16 and 18. Deuteronomy 16 and 18.
Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 18. Judges and officers shall thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment.
Right, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. So when I say judge, what are they talking about? When I say judge, what are they speaking about? When I say judge is what? Yeah, go ahead.
These people and them, the judge and them go like, if any matter come up in Israel, any crime or anything, these people don't go here, the matter and them go take them place to Israel.
Right, so a judge does judge matters. Say right. Who was one famous person that judged a matter? That was hard. And nobody maybe could not even get through.
Yeah, SHALAM, YAHWH.
I think Daniel was one of them. And Daniel and Susanna.
Daniel.
And Susanna.
What? Who's that? Yeah, that's all. Go ahead.
Also, Sasha said Daniel and Susanna and SHALAM, the two of them. One who lies in the child was prostitute.
Right.
Yeah.
King Solomon. Anybody know that scripture, King Solomon? In like 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 16. Let me get that scripture. 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 16. Right? Right? This was a matter that King Solomon had to judge. You know, and good judgment helps brotherhood too. And good judgment, it also helps brotherhood. Right? Because those two two babies was brothers. All right. Very good. 1 Kings 3:16.
The book of 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 16. Then came there two women that were harlots unto the king and stood before him.
All right, so there was harlots. So you don't know how hard already that matter is going to be. Two harlots coming to the king. All right, go ahead.
Verse 17. And the one woman said, O my Lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house.
Good. Good.
Verse 18. And it came to pass the third day after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also, and we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, save we two in the house.
Good.
Verse 19. And this woman's child died in the night because she overlaid it.
Right, she overlaid it, meaning she lied down on it, right? You know, today, that has happened today and all, you know, you have your child next to you, some parents just roll over and you might lie down on the child and the child suffocate and die. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me, while thine handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom.
Right.
We done?
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 21. And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son, which I did bear.
Right, so this is the first harlot, you know, saying, hey, I had my child. The other woman had she child too, but she killed she child by accident. Take her dead child and put it in my bosom, and take my child alive and put it in her bosom. Right? And then when I wake up in the morning, and I watch my child, I realize, hey, this is not my child. Go ahead, verse 22.
Verse 22. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son. And this said, No, dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king.
Right, so it was a whole confusion. It was just confusion. King Solomon had to deal with this matter, you know. One side saying something as a whole long story, the other side saying something as a whole long drawn out story. You know, and King Solomon had to judge this matter. Right? So yeah, go ahead.
Just one question. It had any significance to the woman being harlots, or that is how the story live?
Nah, that is how they are. Sorry, it has no significance.
Thank you.
Go ahead, verse 23.
Verse 23. Then said the king, The one said, This is my son that liveth, and thy son is dead. And the other said, Nay, but thy son is dead, and my son is the living. Verse 24. And the king said, Bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king.
All right, so somebody else hold Exodus 21 and 35. All right, that's the precept for this, how King Solomon had judged. How King judged this, right? So King Solomon say, all right, bring the sword. Right? And they bring the sword, so everybody watching like what King Solomon was sword for. So go ahead.
Verse 25. And the king said, Divide the living child in two, and give half to the one and half to the other.
Right, so King Solomon said, all right, bring the sword. You saying one story, that one saying one story. All right, I had a judge this matter, all right. Cut the child in half, you take half, and then the other one take half. Well, at that time, everybody was watching King Solomon like, he's a madman. What is he saying? What he's supposed to be the wisest man? This man's supposed to be the wisest man. Or we gonna say, cut the child in half. Somebody, hey, that's the oldest we get, but how you gonna say that? Yeah, son. But King Solomon already, again, was wise. And he knew scriptures, so he knew what to say, right? To get the answer that he was looking for. So yeah, go ahead, continue.
Verse 26. Then spake the woman, whose the living child was unto the king, for her bowels yearned unto her son. And she said, O my Lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other said, let it be neither mine nor thine, but divide it.
Right, so the woman's bowels was like, hey, when some people frighten, the bowels feel weird or strange, they want to go and use the washroom. The bowels, how it feeling, but this sister, her bowels, it yearn for a son. You understand? When people frighten, they say, nah, but I have to go and use the washroom, but nah, very hurting. But the fear that she had for her son cutting open her bowels yearned for it. She said, nah, keep the child. Let she keep the child. I'll give my child next time. Right now, don't cut the child open her. Right, the next woman say, other than that, she said different. Right, so yeah, go ahead.
Verse 27. Then the king answered and said, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 28. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of the Most High was with him to do judgment.
Right, so when everybody realized, oh, that is why he went cut it, he didn't really want to cut the child off, he just wanted to see what happened. Everybody started to fear now King Solomon because they realized that the Lord with him. And he have the wisdom of the Most High with him to do judgment, to judge matters. Right, so basically King Solomon had used this as a way to get to the to see who child it was. Who are the scripture I was talking about?
The book of Exodus is 21 and 35.
Yeah.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 35. And if one man ox hurt another's, that he died, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money of it, and the dead ox also they shall divide. Verse 36.
Right, so, and the dead ox also they shall divide. Exodus. What's it? 65.
21 and 35.
Right. Yeah, read it over again.
Come. The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 35. And if one man's ox hurt another's, that he died.
Right, so where is that here? Right, King Solomon used this spirit of the law here to find out whose child it really was. So who is this here? If one man ox hurt another's, that he died. Now use this same spirit into what we just read with King Solomon. This gonna be who? The woman that killed the child, right? That what this could be here. If one man ox hurt another, that it died. Right? So the baby died. Right? Continue.
Then they shall sell the live ox.
Right? Then they shall sell the live ox. But the live baby, they took it to King Solomon. Right? That's what they did. The baby that was alive, they took it to King Solomon. Right? So one man's ox hurt another one that he died. So King Solomon was just using the spirit of this. So this one woman killed her son by mistake. Right? So now they had a, in this here, I read in here, they say now they had to sell the ox. So King Solomon saying, all right, you have a live child in here now, they're bringing it to me to judge the matter. Right? Go ahead.
And divide the money of it.
Right? And divide the money of it. Right? Continue.
And the dead ox also they shall divide.
Right? And the dead ox also they shall divide. So when they brought the live baby, King Solomon said, all right, since they had to divide the money of it, split the baby. King Solomon used his spirit, I'm sorry, split that baby in half. You get half, you get half. That was like the money. King Solomon just used his spirit of this God to find out what was going on. Alright? And then when that happened now, that is when he gets found out that the woman, the other woman, is the owner of the baby. Because how she felt in her bowels. Alright? He didn't want it to divide the baby in half. He was just using this, the spirit of this here, to get to the conclusion. Right? He was wise. So he just used the spirit of this scripture here to judge that matter. That's what King Solomon did. Right? So having good judgment, it also helps brotherhood, because why the two children and them, the two children was brothers. Right? The one that died and the one that was living, the two of them was brothers. Right? So it also helps brotherhood. You know, you couldn't just go and kill the next, kill the next baby. You know, you keep the baby alive, and that child grow up, it have kids of their own and so forth. Those kids have kids of their own, Keep the brotherhood alive, you just kill the two babies and, don't have with the lineage. No. So, good judgment, it also helps brotherhood. Judging a matter. Right?
Yeah, can. So like yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if I may stand to be corrected, right? But because I might cause asking a question on concern the two women being mentioned as harlots now. Right? So I just kinda like throwing out this, right? The scriptures bring them and make known that there's harlots. Right? I just watching the basically the same principle they bringing out with the processor judgment now. Right? And I just saying that the two women being harlots, even before he go to use the spirit that the law as they rightfully bring out. Normally, like in a matter of judgment, they bring like 2 or 3 witnesses, right? But the women being harlots now, then they in a position now where you can't call, for example, for the fathers. So like you have 2 women that had sons. The next thing more than likely what they might do now is call for the fathers to say, you could tell me something about the child, for example, like a mark on the child or something like that now. And then the father will be able to say, yeah, well, my child have a 2 women in this way, that kind of way. But seeing that these harlots now saying that probably could be also adding to the possibility now you can't call for witnesses. So as King Saul rightfully did as they bring out, now we're not in a position in the matter where you have witnesses for this court matter. So, as they rightfully say, use the spirit of the law. Just throwing that out now.
Well, yeah, that could be what I could always find out more about it, but that could be what I could always find out more about it.
Yeah, that's why really kind of throw it out so you can get some more feedback on that probably if it's that same thing probably use.
Yeah, no sure.
In the case, can.
Yeah, Sha.
Yeah, you came back to that 21 and 35, right? It's like when you're checking back this now with whenever the whole thing is like where you feel you're getting all your insurance, all the insurance companies and things like compensating your family. Like compensating for the like when you when they damage somebody and things too.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. For one ox hurt the other one and it died. Right? So then they had to take the live ox and split the money in two. Right? So yeah. Right? What is it? Timothy. First Timothy. First Timothy chapter 6 and verse 20.
First Timothy chapter 6 verse 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
First Timothy chapter 6 and verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust. Avoid it, profane and vain babbling, and opposition of science, falsely so called it.
Right. So keep that which is committed to thy trust. Right? Avoiding profane, vain babblings, oppositions of science, falsely so called. And so basically what he's saying here, people who come up to these scriptures and using all kind of science just to battle with it, you never study them. Right? People come up with all types of science trying to battle the Bible. Egyptologists battle the Bible all the time and they just lose. Right? Or they just use some sort of science saying you don't need, a woman don't need to have sex to have a child. She can have a child as she won't. Just so. All kind of science that has come up with to try to battle the scripture. Right? But again, having true brotherhood, they can't win. If they had a true brotherhood, they can't win. Keep diligence. These scriptures. Son, it's our word that is trying to remember that word. It's adamant. Yeah. Be adamant. The scriptures. They come with all types of science. All kind of oppositions, babblings. Now once you just keep that brotherhood, man, them ain't go they ain't go win. Just keep that brotherhood, they ain't go win that battle. Alright? So I would say keep that which is committed to thy trust. Alright, and avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions. Alright? Some more. Give me Ephesians 5 and 4. Ephesians 5 and 4.
Book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 4. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks.
But rather giving of thanks. Anybody know what is jesting? Jesting, what is that? What is jesting?
So like you said for me?
Go ahead.
Right, so jesting is like you're suggesting is a bad joke. So it's suggesting or even like a lewd or a lewd joke with a woman. You don't know the woman, whatever the case is. It's not your woman or whatever, right? And you're making foul up because this society like that. You can just make a joke with anybody and and it doesn't have to be like very what you call it, very plain, but I think that is just in part, so it masks. So it's not plain, but it's suggesting something that means that you wanna do something sexual or sexual nature. So you're just you're making a bad joke and you're shaming somebody that poor, or the cripple or something like that. So, things like that is considered as much as I know.
Yeah, I'll take that. So it's like a bad joke. Yeah, two other. Right? It's like a bad joke. So, okay, so
Like I said,
yeah, I'm sure. Go ahead.
one I could be like this one. When coming back to the dietary laws, right? And we tell people do we pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, right? And one thing though is from fancy and it's like the pork is the last thing on the face of the youth. Is the last thing on the face of the youth. So they just bring it out to say that yeah, you can eat yam. They can eat pork. They're trying to say no way. So if pork is the last thing on the face of the youth to eat, you go eat it. And things so like that's the word bring it out. There's some like they started to bring up ideas now to justify that they want to eat the pork and
Yeah, is that but it's mostly like a joking on someone. Like a bad talk, you're laughing at somebody in a bad way. So right, somebody might be bad talking. What does it, right? Yeah, right. So let me talk about in terms of adultery. A man might be bad talking another man's wife, right? Saying, hey boy, so young thing she looking, she looking so she toes bigger. Oh gosh, so they're joking and she not just to be with she, right? In terms of adultery. So you're bad talking shit other people just to be with you. Right? Now, nobody does make jokes or laugh at each other like black people do. Right? That is unbothered. Right? It could hurt somebody. It could also hurt somebody. Right? Joking on somebody, laughing at them. You always shooing, making jokes. Black people does make jokes at one another. That it does hurt. It can hurt somebody. Right? You could also end up coming back and hurt you. But when the brother hear you making jokes about it in a bad way, he could always come back and hurt you. Right? So that is unbrotherly. Right? Who was really the scripture? Yeah, continue from after Justin.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 4, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks.
And which are not convenient. Where is convenient? You know what convenient is? I mean, convenient.
Mm-hmm. Probably, I think,
Yeah,
useful, not useful, so not helpful. Then.
Yeah, I could take that. Right? It's not helpful. I could take that. It's not helpful. It's not fitting in well with someone. Right? So don't. No filthiness, no foolish talking or jesting, right? Which are not convenient, which doesn't fit in well with someone. Don't be making jokes and foolish talking with somebody, right? Or talking fool and filthiness, and silliness. Don't be doing those things with your brother or your sister, unbrotherly. It doesn't fit in well with that person. Stop the joking and the laughable things at your brother. But rather give thanks. Find a way to uplift your brother and your sister. Right? Find some way to uplift your brother or your sister. Don't be making bad jokes and laughing at them. You go another one in the bar talking and saying, look at how his shoes is. He knows to dress or he's smelling a hole, smelling bad. Don't be making them things. Find a way to uplift them, go and talk to him and say, put on the perfume, the hair ain't smelling too right, don't go and bad talking, making jokes, bad jokes with somebody at him. Alright? Yeah.
But I guess,
Yeah, go ahead.
let's go find out something back, right? So like, see that, back to that testing. See like, say my sister come to her brother, I know more he go in some, right? And she say like, she wants she need all the money now, so she say she want 300, and the man now, and say, yeah, I gave you 300, but you have to combine the first. That would be any part of like justice. And it's, like, that, let's say that's not like something that's sexual, like, let's go, let's see.
It won't be jesting. You didn't make a bad joke. It wasn't it wasn't something that, I mean, if you see it in a way that, she get offended, she might say, you take me for a harlot or something, It could come off as, you're adjusting as a bad joke, right? But in your mind, you ain't really thinking it as a bad joke. But if you really thinking it as a bad joke, then yes, you come adjust it. If you genuinely see it, come on by me, she's single and she's free, and she willing, she say yes. You're all right. And I say, why you after?
So, but, that would be great.
Right? So that was the good one, is it? No, but if you genuinely say it, and you didn't think about it in no bad way. It's not a bad joke in me. If it's a bad joke you was making, yeah, that could come up as I'm jesting because in the mind she come like a harlot. She just she can pay for sex. Oh my God, like them harlots and them. Right? If you know she's a harlot, you ain't have to make a bad joke. You have to say that. You can say something else. Change your life like how Christ tell the woman, right? Christ tell the woman who was in adultery, be free and sin no more. But yes, it could come off as adjusting according to what your mentality was on it. Alright, Sure. Yeah, time for that. Yeah, continue verse 5. What was that reading?
Book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 5. For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of our power.
Alright, so nobody who's a whoremonger, unclean person, somebody who envying other persons, right? Who is an adulterer, will have any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of the Most High. Right? So I believe it have people in the scriptures who used to envy people. And it was Joshua boy, and Joshua went to kill 2 kings. Saul had envy King David. I can't remember if Saul had I know. But I know it had some people who had envy, especially people who was above them in rank. I can't remember what was Saul about. Found out next week come up with it. Right? Yeah.
Conspire against it.
Mm-hmm.
Conspire against it.
Right. Right. So I will come back. Next week I will come back and talk about that covetousness. Right, right, so anybody who envy unclean person, whoremongers, right, and adulterer, right, will have no inheritance in the kingdom of the Most High. Right? You have no inheritance in the kingdom of the Most High. Right? So anybody have any questions? Any questions on that? Ask, find out. Tazo here.
So like I said, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse, I think it's 19 to 20. Deuteronomy 4 verse 19. That's what I'm going to make sure. Yeah, Deuteronomy 4 verse 19. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun, and the moon, and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shouldst be driven to worship them and serve them. Thy power are divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. I want to get an understanding of what it means when the Lord divided unto all the nations of heaven. We ain't supposed to worship it, but you know, like God, what it means by that statement?
Right, so right. So yeah, so basically this was talking about that. We're not supposed to worship the moon and the stars and all those things, right? And serve them, which the Lord thy God had divided unto all the nations under the whole heaven. Right? So he was just talking about how he divided all the nations. Right? He divided all the nations under that whole heaven. So on top of the heaven with the moon and the sun. So below on the earth, the Lord divided all the nations. He say, which one I divided all the nations that are not supposed to be looking up and worshiping those things. Alright, that's what we're talking about.
So let's read it. Let's read it. So the next part of it, I'm going to try to find. Let's read it.
Mm-hmm.
One second. Yeah, so like I said, right, so that be driven to worship them and serve them, right, which the Lord had divided unto all the nations under the whole heaven, right? So just to get a clarification in terms of worship them and serve them, is this one of the precepts and then maybe the heathen and they messed up and think that they was to worship it when they see it? Like all Muslims follow the moon and the stars, or some like how because that was the scripture in Wisdom of Solomon 14. We're talking about the devising of idols or the all that kind of stuff. Like where the origins and of them thinking that they still to worship this thing. Where that come from? Where the idea that come from?
No, that was always in them because remember, they don't have no laws ready to tell them what to do and what not to do.
Okay.
Just like how we had the laws not to be a homosexual, they don't have no laws saying not to be a homosexual. Right? So that just like Adam and Eve in the beginning was just doing all kind of nonsense until he get a better life in him. Right? And he know what to do. Right? So this scripture, they always had that in them. So in this scripture here, this was one of these scriptures the Lord telling us say, don't worship those things. Right?
So like I said, so if I explain it then, right, and reading it out to somebody, as you know saying that, but also the Lord leave them basically to do what they want. But he didn't give them specific instructions, do this, do this, don't do this, do this.
Right. Because the law is only meant for us. That's why we know not to do that and not to do this.
Right. So
not to celebrate Christmas and so well.
Of course, and one, if they ask him, so how come owning the law and doing the law then? It's to tell them that we is the only person that the Lord entrusts to put you on order. Like that, see like that.
How come we get the law and them don't get the law?
Yeah, how come we as the Israelites get the law and they didn't get the law?
Right, well, you know, you go into the scripture and show them where the Lord created us to rule everybody on the face of the earth. Right? So, and the Lord has always put one person in charge. The Lord is in charge of everything. Christ in charge, everything else after. In terms of nations now, Israel was supposed to be the nation in charge, right? But who's the nation in charge right now? Well, I know America, right? America, you see, run the world, right? But Israel was supposed to be that nation. The Lord always put one person in charge. He chose Israel, right? Again, because we sin against the Lord, that's why we're not in charge.
Right.
Right? And then you could just go in the scriptures and show him.
Right.
As well, Psalms 147, and you show them that and go in the one in the Apocrypha, we was made, you know, Adam, we was made to rule. Yeah. Right. Also the one in Deuteronomy. Right? Alright, so yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any wait a while, question?
Yeah, come.
Alright, no, so who won? You want Sean?
Come.
Alright, but that's Pascal, the priest and officer Tazo.
Security announcement via the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street out of New York on the Commander Gen.YAHANNA. New York's brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are beat to saluted only. They are here to shut themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10. It means tenth in Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the church department or teacher. Priest fund, we were offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, the Lord's Passover, April the 24th, Saturday, April the 24th in Houston, Texas. Alright, so make arrangements. The main thing is getting very close, it's about a month. Alright, so you wanna get in touch with the man over your city to find out how you can make it there. You know what I mean? If you have any Caribbean, you can fly out. If you have any states, you know what I mean, and making sure you connect with your brothers and sisters, right? You can find this in Slovakia. You can find this in Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 to 5, Leviticus chapter 23, verses 4 to 5, 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7 to 8, verses 7 to 8, Slovakia, and 2 Chronicles chapter 30 verse 17. Alright, remind Akyam, which means brothers, and Akwatian, which means sisters, to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If your brother wants to be a trooper in his school, then he needs to start wearing our black, which includes black boots, like shirts, like pants, like headband and scarf, with that beside matching, which means to stand upon your them, eyes and face the east. Alright. Let's pray in the Hebrew. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemaya, Wadash, Ayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Tabah, Ayah, Aisha, Maratasa, Kawa, Ayah, Washemaya, Tandanaw, Nakam, Yawam, Wasalakno, Kabuwatnam, Asalakno, Kabuwatinam, Wala, Tabayanawa, Saiwan, Abol, Oshina, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Mahala, Atapara, Iwalamium, Aman.
In the English of the settlers, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, we forgive our
As
debtors.
we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not in temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Sir, Winston, I'm going to give the chap one quick salute. Whenever you shall, I imagine Shabbat. I imagine. Rap.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Pata.
How about Shimon Shabbat? Come.
Mata, sir, turn and give sisters on 9 and 30 salute. Whenever you shall, I imagine Shabbat. I imagine. Rap.
Yahweh Hashem Hashem Yahushua.
Mata, dismiss. Saya sons